Baldi's basics, all right? Baldi's basics. Yeah, look. Listen, y'all go ahead, get the jokes off, all right? I just want you to know I know where you live now that you've already commented. Super Horror Bros, let's get it.
So when the metal hit his mug, he just sunk in place. 100K Holla, chillin' Bahamas. Come home to your crib and throw in your mama.
What is good, HollaSquad? We are the latest squad on the YouTube platform. Listen, today we are back with another reaction, and we got the hidden meaning of Baldi's basics. We got some theories. Now, I had no clue there was even theories behind this. All I know is we got a dude walking around with a stick, pause, you know what I'm saying? And they're giving us these fake math problems. So they get mad and chase us around the school. We got mad different characters and stuff like that. But we're going to figure out what the theories are, so let's get it.
Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning video, we take a look at the mysteries of Here School, the characters who inhabit it, and why exactly Baldi's questions seem to make no sense at all. And what about that bizarre field trip that recently released? All of these questions will be covered in today's theory, which expands and elaborates on my original Baldi theory, in which I proposed the main character may have some kind of mental disorder, such as schizophrenia. Hence why they see the world in such a tainted light. The more I thought about this theory, the more—
Hold up, so why the teacher running around trying to smack him with a stick if my man is in Yeah.
The more I became aware that the entire school may not be a normal high school, and instead a school for special education. And this principle will be the groundwork for today's theory. So what exactly is a special education
And they allow bullies to run through the hall?
Well, let's take a look at the Wikipedia definition for such an institute. Special education, also known as special needs education, aided education, exceptional education, or special ed, is the practice of educating students in a way that addresses their individual differences and needs. Ideally, this process involves the individually planned and systematically monitored arrangement of teaching procedures, adapted equipment and materials, and accessible settings. These interventions are designed to help individuals with special needs achieve a higher level of personal self-sufficiency and success in school and in their community, which may not be available if the student were only given access to a typical classroom education. This basic description perfectly fits with everything we see in Baldi's Basics. The layout of the school itself seems designed to help those with special needs. The classrooms are simple and the building has lots of bright colours, something we don't see in a regular high school.
I mean, it depends on where you from though, you know what I'm saying? Because some schools might actually be that small, bro. My school had like 25 kids in the class. But some of them be like, bro, I done seen some schools driving through, you know what I'm saying, America.
For the most part.
Some of them look like they got 3 classrooms in it total, alright?
Look at the drawings on the wall here too. They resemble something a child with learning difficulties would have drawn, and suggest a very basic IQ. This particular image—
But also, like, they're asking 2 + 3, which is elementary school, and if you ask me, some of them drawings in elementary school was butt.
Comes off as highly strange, even creepy in its suggestion of self-harm. But these—
Is her TikTok fire? Let me know.
Images and the look and feel of the school alone is not enough evidence for us to claim the setting of the game is indeed that of a special ed school. So let's dive a little deeper. First, let us turn our attention to the 2 teachers, Baldi and Principal of a Thing. Here is an audio extract from both of them.
I can't believe it. You're incredible.
Your parents will hear about this one.
As you can tell from these audio clips, the speech patterns from both these teachers is slow and deliberate. The way they talk is not the way you would expect a teacher to communicate with a regular student, but it does sound similar to what we may expect to hear from a teacher speaking to someone with a learning disability. Slow and simple so they can be understood, and calm in tone so they do not scare the child. Also, we hear Baldi congratulate our character every time they get a single question correct. This over-the-top praise is something that would absolutely be said to a kid with severe learning disabilities, as they have a far harder time wrapping their heads around even the most simplistic of questions much of the time. You will also notice that Baldi rewards the player with a shiny quarter for getting the first question of the day correct.
You did great. Come here and get your prize. A shiny quarter.
Again, something not commonplace in a normal school environment, but would be found in special education. But there is more evidence than I have presented so far in this video, much more in fact, and the second half of this video looks at the other students and the mystery field trip, both holding further clues which cement this theory as something to seriously consider. So let's start with a look at the other students at Here School. First up is Playtime, a schoolgirl wearing a red dress who desperately seeks someone to play skipping rope with. Her description also states she has poor eyesight, so this is a child who has a physical learning disability, her poor vision, and seems socially unaware, forcing herself on the player and demanding to play with them, only stopping if her skipping rope is cut in half. So we certainly have a character in play.
You can use scissors to cut her. Bro.
So we certainly have a character in Playtime who exhibits qualities in line with special needs. Next, we move to Arts and Crafts, strangely displayed as a sock in the game, which we assume represents a creation made by him in, well, Arts and Crafts. This student is known to be very shy and reclusive. It is also stated that they become jealous of people with more notebooks than them. This is a strange motive to bring out jealousy and anger in a child, but would make sense if Arts and Crafts has a learning disability, and so therefore is easily triggered by menial things. His description also states that he doesn't like being looked at, and we can see this in the game. This character, if seen, ducks back out of view. However, they will try to get the player in trouble if all 7 notebooks are collected. So again, another character with personality traits which would match a mentally challenged individual. Moving on to first prize, we see a physical disability more than a mental one, a character that represents someone in a wheelchair, and with a big heart, which represents, as his description remarks, someone who loves hugging people and rushing towards anyone it sees. So here we have a kid with a physical handicap, but someone who seems to—
Bruh, having you run away from special ed kids as a game is nuts. Alright, that's crazy.
to be fairly intelligent and maybe overly friendly towards people.
I am coming, ready order, here I come.
And once again, we have evidence this is a child who would require a special school environment, both to get around in and also to learn to control their overt emotions. As far as the final student, It's a Bully, is concerned, we don't have a description that alludes too much to someone who is mentally or physically challenged. He is simply stated to be a bully, but his appearance does seem to mirror that.
Because I ain't gonna lie, back in high school, I remember they used to put like the kids with like anger management, like in the, you know what I'm saying, special learning classes. I remember, you know, so.
Of someone with a certain type of disability. His nose is large and squashed up. He has an overly happy expression on his face at all times and tiny eyes, while his body is very large and his arms very small. In comparison to teachers such as Baldi and Principal of a Thing, as well as the mysterious file name 2, they all have a more normal look with less exaggerated features. So there is some evidence here to suggest the bully is also disabled in some way. With all this information in mind, we can now fully explain why Baldi's questions often make no sense at all. While the simpler questions are manageable for this student, they may be suffering from a form of dyslexia. This is a learning disability which is very common in many people, and usually isn't a big deal. However, some people suffer severe dyslexia, and this can make understanding numbers and words very difficult. So in game, I believe this is represented by literally showing harder math questions as something totally unreadable. And so these questions aren't actually presented to the child this way by Baldi, rather it is simply their anxiety and dyslexia.
But how come like you can't hear though? Like, cause if dyslexia is like reading it, why can't you hear like Baldi tell us the actual question?
Kicking in as they begin to fail to keep up. It is the game representing their learning disability. It also seems like each notebook the player collects represents a class the child is attending, with each class bringing them closer to the end of the school day when they can finally return home. But because of this, their anxiety rises, and so they perceive Baldi to become more of a danger to them, feeling pressured upon getting more and more answers incorrect, and in turn feeling as if their teacher is becoming angrier with them. This is only heightened by the presence of other students and their actions toward the player. At the end of the school day, the child feels highly distressed, and so we can hear this audio clip.
Congratulations! You found all 7 notebooks! Now all you need to do is...
In reality, no one is out to harm them, and it's all in their head. It also appears as if this is the kids' first day at Here's School, as Baldi greets them in this manner at the beginning of the game.
Oh, hi. Welcome to my schoolhouse.
It seems obvious now the school and its students are special needs focused, and this explains why they behave the way they do and their skewed and abstract presentation in the game. It explains why Baldi speaks the way he does, and why many of his questions appear nonsensical to the player. It even explains the bizarre art found on the walls around the school, and why objects such as these scissors are so blunt and safe. But we have one more scenario to analyze in order to complete today's theory, and that is the mysterious field trip minigame that recently released for the game. Because special needs centers and schools often use unorthodox methods of teaching in order to help students become both self-sufficient and gain confidence in themselves, it makes sense that Baldi, as the child's mentor, would perhaps spend time with them outside of the classroom to further develop these qualities. So it isn't that strange that he takes the child on a field trip under these circumstances.
Bro, you're not taking my special needs kids into the middle of the woods, bro, without me there. It's not happening. It's not happening. So, parents, where the parents at?
This is an exercise to help the child become self-sufficient by building a fire and camping in the woods. Again, he is trying to help the kid and not harm them in any way, but this child feels that if they let the fire go out, they will get in trouble, when this is actually a harmless learning exercise. The bizarre cloudy copter is most likely just a regular flying helicopter overhead, but again, something which scares the child under these circumstances, being away from home and with a relative stranger in the woods at night.
See, a relative stranger is crazy, alright? That's no, you're not taking my kid out there.
A place they would probably feel highly uncomfortable in. And with that, we have covered just about everything found within Baldi's basics, with a theory that explains all. But this is just a theory, and we will delve into other takes on the weirdness of the game in the coming weeks. In the meantime, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below.
I ain't gonna lie. Hold on, we got a little bit more theory
and that's it for today's video. Please remember to give it a like if you did enjoy what.
Bro, listen. I didn't even know Baldi's Basics had a thing. I really didn't think nothing of it, but see, that's why we need YouTube channels like this, bruh, to sprinkle in the knowledge for us. Cause boy, I had no idea, no cap. All right, but look, Super Horror Bros, y'all got some W vids. All right. We gotta watch the other Little Nightmares video. Y'all put the timeline together for what other games? We might have to watch Super Horror Bros FNAF breakdown. We watch Matt Pat joint. You know what I'm saying? We gotta watch the Super Horror Bros one. Y'all let me know if we should do that. But listen, y'all like, comment, subscribe. You here? You made it to the end of it. You like the vid? Might as well hit the sub button. Peace.
Who said we ain't bout it? Test the gang and you'll get touched. She ride it, Kawasaki, roll my blunts and keep it quiet. Money is the motive, so we keep it on our mind. you'll get put in the stretcher. Yellow tape, so please don't try.